Whatever you have is never good enough unless you train your mind to think differently. So check it out. This is a really hard one for people to get their mind around, especially if you're young and you just haven't sort of lived enough of a financial life where you've had these sort of ups and downs. Um, and honestly, it doesn't really matter if you are, 65 years old or 18 years old. The principle is still the same. We are bombarded 24/7 with advertisements and marketing, and which includes the people that are around you. Things that will entice us to want to take the money out of our pocket and to give it to someone else for some type of product. That product is meant then to increase the way that we feel about ourselves, specifically make us feel better, make us feel more prestige. If we have this type of shoe or this type of belt or this type of clothes or just this type of car or go to this type of dinner, we feel that we belong with the elite, which internally gives us a higher self fulfillment and happiness. The problem is that once you purchase those types of things and you've had that short period of fulfillment, you generally don't live within that threshold for longer than sort of whatever that experience is. So maybe you take a really nice vacation. Instead of spending $2,000, you spend $10,000. Well, after that experience is gone, you may have felt very bougie during that time and very like uppity, and you got a lot of Instagram photos and so forth. But at the end of the day, that experience 2-3 months down the road, aside from a few pictures and maybe a small memory, it's gone, along with the extra $8,000. It's the same thing with any car purchase or any belt purchase or clothes or whatever. Initially, when you first put those things on, you can feel really great about yourself. You can feel sort of like a little bit more upscale, which gives you that sense of pride, which is what you're looking for. It releases the endorphins within your body and makes you happy, which is why you do it. Take 4, 5, 6 months down the road, you slide those shoes on, the same belt, the same whatever, and it's just kind of what you've had. Our brains are conditioned to always want to do something new and more. It's how we learn and grow as a species and as a human, right? So by default, whatever you have is never good enough unless you train your mind to think differently, basically overcoming your mind. And this is what the most successful people do. Regardless of whether it be a relationship, a pair of shoes, a belt, a house, a car, a place of being, at the end of the day, you will fill into whatever it is you're surrounding, and you'll always yearn for more. You'll yearn for that better high. You'll yearn for that a higher fitness level. If you're dating a supermodel, you want the supermodel. If you're driving a great car, you want a better car. If you get the better car, you want a better car. If you want a better car, you want a supercar. If you want a supercar, you got to get the Bugatti. If you already have the Bugatti, then you need the exclusive for the Bugatti that you only make 5 of. You get the point. This is the trap that robs you of your financial freedom. The most successful people in life still tickle that sense of want and yearn and do get those endorphins and do go out and purchase those things. And this is the point of this video. It is very confusing for people that they look at somebody and they say, but you are buying the nice things, you have a nice belt, so how can you tell me to pull back and not spend when you yourself are spending? And the difference is the stage in life in which you decide to spend. I got gray hairs, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not, I'm old. I'm 41 years old. And, when I was 20, 25, 30, 35, I didn't spend like the way I was spending right now. After you sort of eaten crap for a long period of time and you kind of lived in, I don't know, you call it a silent depression. I call it on a path to financial freedom. But after you live in a moment where you, you're not spending, you're not doing that, you accumulate the money, instead of taking the nice vacation, you took the less vacation. Instead of buying a fancy shirt, you bought the less fancy shirt, the one on sale, the one that's 50% off the discount rack already. Once you've lived that life and you've taken that money and you put into assets, and those assets start to provide you income that you don't really have anything else to do with, because they're paying for, your apartment, your house, your rental, whatever, your housing, whatever it is. They're paying for your car, they're paying for your food, they're paying for you to actually put more money back in retirement, they're paying for your kids' future, the kids' college, and you sort of you've got money coming in for all of that. It's regular and it's automatic. And even if it cut 50% down, you'd still be okay. That type of money, that's when you start to go purchase those types of things that, quite honestly, make you feel better. Like, because fuck, why not? That's the whole point, right? So the point is that when you're young, it's very, very extremely hard, especially when you have a lower EQ, which you do when you're young. It is what it is. And you look at everyone, and you might look at people in your age range, and they may seem successful because they're using their credit cards and they are buying all those things, and you're like, man, they get to do it or whatever. And you're going so against the grain because you might have the money to go do it, and you're basically going, I'm not going to fit in, I'm not going to wear fancy stuff, I'm going to look like the homeless person, I'm going to look antisocial because I never go out, it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be blah 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 blah. And that is true, except for I can promise you it's a very short period of time, because once you get established, you can start to trickle some of that stuff in your life. And once it gets good, I can tell you that there's people around me at 45, 50, 55, 60 that are struggling to make ends meet because they always live this life of spending and spending that nothing can be behind it. There's a lot of people freaking out because the economy is, going down a little bit. Um, you may live a life, let's call it a scale of 1 to 10. You may live a life that's a 3 or 4 all the time, or you can live a life that's a 1 for a good 5, 10 years, and then live a 10 for the rest of your life. And that's the choice that you need to make. The 1 through the first 5 to 10 years really sucks because it's a lot of good years, and you got to reward yourself along the way, and you got to remind yourself, and you got to surround yourself with good people. It really sucks, but I can guarantee you the life after that period, it's pretty awesome. And you'll know it when you see everyone else struggling and you're the one that's making it. You'll turn around and you'll say, this is how I did it, and you'll post a video like this.